Hi, I'm Ben Arnon, creator of The Multiplier Substack. And I've been getting messages from a number of people asking for me to make it a bit more practical and actually to do a video showing how the rapid prototyping process that I've developed using AI tools. And so I'm going to do that here. We're going to run through how I use the LLMs, in this case Claude, to really workshop and brainstorm, go back and forth with Claude in this case to identify the underpinnings of a solid business idea, and then how to move that into a pitch deck, and ultimately how to build an extremely extensive, comprehensive prompt that I then load up into a vibe coding or AI coding tool to build out a prototype. So starting here on Claude, I could use any of these. Claude is excellent. ChatGPT, Gemini, they're all really excellent. I'm using Claude Sonnet 4 here, which just came out last week. So I'm going to say, what's the most high value AI-powered business idea for, in this case, I'm just choosing the high school education space. I could use the travel industry, the music industry. Here I just decided I'm going to choose the high school education space. So let's see. It comes back with personalized learning optimization platforms that combine adaptive content delivery with predictive analytics. Sounds pretty interesting. Typically I would take a little more time to really dive in, read all of this, and go back and forth. But let's see, why don't we, the key components that make this particularly valuable: adaptive assessment engine, predictive intervention, multimodal. So this seems interesting. So I'll literally say this. This seems interesting. Dive deeper for me. What is the business model? What gaps in the market are we filling? So again, I'll do a bunch of back and forth now, brainstorming, using the LLM, in this case Claude, as the sounding board. So it looks like here's the business model: primary revenue structure, B2B school district licensing, freemium consumer model, market gaps, personalization desert. Very quickly, it's intriguing and pretty interesting. Existing players and their limitations. So now I'll say, and I would typically do a lot more, iterating and back and forth, but just for the sake of time, and so that this video is not too long, I'm just going to say, let's flesh out a business plan together. And some of these prompts I keep very, very basic. I start to get much more in depth on my prompts, as I dive further into, a real brainstorm with Claude around a significant business idea. But here you can see, very quickly, just with very minimal prompts, it is, it's come up with a company name: Adapt Learn, transforming high school education through AI-powered personalization. It's done this market analysis. Again, typically I would kind of, dive deeper into all of these elements and really do a lot more back and forth, and really sort of gut check all of this. But I just want to show how quickly we can get to a place where we can actually start to build a prototype. So, pretty interesting. Again, surface level so far, but pretty intriguing. Marketing and sales strategy, operations plan, financial projections. Again, all of this would really have to be sort of gut checked if I was really going to do something for real here, but not too shabby for doing this for just a few minutes so far. Let's do this now. I'm going to say, I want to create a pitch deck in a new artifact. That's what they call them on Claude. It's an artifact. On ChatGPT, it would be a canvas, and a new canvas. But here in a new artifact, please give me a pitch deck outline. So again, typically I would really do this for a longer period of time, and I would dive much deeper into all aspects of this. But I want to just show what the process would be. for this rapid prototyping development process. And so you can see here that it's creating a slide-by-slide pitch deck. What I'm going to do once we have this, I'm going to go here to Gamma.app, Gamma, using the paste in text. And so what I'm going to do once this finishes, again, I should just mention once again that, you know, typically I would be doing many more steps here, although it wouldn't take a very long time. I mean, the ability to rapidly prototype and really emphasize that rapidly part of rapid prototyping is pretty amazing with these AI tools. I'm going to copy this, throw it in here into Gamma.app, presentation, and then I'm going to click continue. I haven't even read that again, so again, typically I would do a lot more. But what you could see is I would come here, I could preserve the text that's in here. I would probably, you know, remove like slide 3, slide 4, like the numbers there. But you could see that because it was broken down by Claude into slide by slide, it does a really good job of literally creating a separate, as Gamma calls them, card for each of these. And then I could click continue. I could pick a different theme here. I'm just going to go with what they give me. I'm going to generate. And you'll see how quickly it actually, again, it says slide 2 and slide 3. I could have removed that and definitely would. But you could see here that it's creating an entire slide deck. Again, I would certainly iterate on this and you know, change the images, change the text and whatnot. But so, you know, this was a very, very, very condensed process of getting to the pitch deck. Now, what I really want to show you is actually building a prototype. So I'm going to say here, and there are a number of different tools that are incredible tools. There are some tools like UX Pilot. I'm not going to use that here, but that's a really, really great tool for building sort of smarter UX design with AI, as I mentioned, and really creating the different screens and utilizing that as part of the prompting. There is something called Copy Coder, which is a really interesting tool as well. Cursor, which is over here. Cursor is actually, you would download it for your Mac. This is the most powerful of all of the AI coding tools. This is a little more advanced, so you know, for folks who really don't have technical expertise, you know, Cursor is going to be a little more challenging, and so that's why I'm actually going to use Lovable in this particular example. But so what I'm going to do here, I'm back on Claude, and I'm going to say I want to build a prototype. Using Lovable. Please give me an extremely comprehensive and exhaustive prompt that I can copy and paste into Lovable. Here we go. My typing was a little off there. So now a new artifact, and it's going to give me a prototype. A prompt. So rather than going on Lovable and just, you know, trying to do a prompt myself, this is going to give me a much more extensive prompt. You'll see here that it is giving me a project overview, core features to build, authentications and user management, student learning dashboard, AI-powered personalization engine. It's going to go much, much deeper. And it's actually still building this out. Technical requirements, front end, data management, AI simulation, design requirements. Now what I'm going to do, so it's still going. So this is a really extensive prompt. What we want to do is we want to create as strong of an input. So we're going to input our prompt into Lovable or Cursor or Replit or any of the AI coding tools. We want the prompt to be as strong as possible so that the input is incredibly strong, hence the output becomes incredibly strong. And so what I'm going to do here is, and this might actually be too long because I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go to something called CodeGuide.dev. CodeGuide.dev is an incredible, as they call it, companion to help with AI coding. And so let me log in and then I'll show you what I'm going to do here. So I have just logged in. So here's my dashboard for CodeGuide. I'm going to go to new project. And here is the prompt space. So I'm going to go back to Claude. I'm going to copy this. Now, this only allows for the prompt to be 10,000 characters, and I have a feeling this might be too many. It is. So I'm actually going to go back to Claude. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go back to Claude, play around with Claude to get this prompt down to 10,000 characters, and then we'll return from there. So I redid the prompt, and you can see here it's V3, and so now it's just under 10,000 characters. So I'm going to copy this new prompt. I'm going to go back to CodeGuide. I'm going to remove all of that. I'm going to place this new prompt in here. It looks like it's just under 10,000. Then I'm going to hit next step. And so what CodeGuide.dev is going to do, it is going to actually run me through 10 questions, really insightful questions that is going to help to enhance the prompt even more, and then deliver a prompt for whichever tool I decide to use. So here I'm going to click on Bolt, Windsurf, Lovable. I'll be using Lovable, but I'll click on a bunch of these: Cursor, Replit, a whole bunch, and I'm going to go to the AI models. I'm going to do Claude 3.7, do GPT 03, 4.0, 2.5 here. So I'm going to click next step, and we will see that this is going to now give me 10 questions. All questions must be answered before proceeding. And they're good questions. They really help you think through what you're building in greater detail. Which core features would you like to prioritize in the MVP prototype? For example, student login and basic learning path, teacher analytics, AI personalization simulation, or specific workflows. When you mention calendar integration for assignment due dates, would you prefer a live connection to a calendar service like Google Calendar, or a simple mock calendar view for demonstration? Now, what I typically do is a combination of answering these myself and also copying the question into Claude and having Claude answer some of them as well. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to get all the questions answered. I'm going to do it with Claude just because I want to, for the sake of time, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I have now completed all these questions, and you can see the answers are really robust. Which core features would you like? Here's the answer for the MVP: priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, priority 4, features to deprioritize for the. It's really, really in-depth answer. So really thinking about this product and what we're building really very deeply for just a matter of minutes since we started this process. So then I press next, and so here's the project plan. Here's the project description, and the selected AI tools, these answers to these questions. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. You can see though, what the mock calendar should include, visual implementation. It's really quite amazing. There's obviously a lot going on here. That's why it took so long to scroll. I'm going to generate outline. And so what's going to happen now is that it's actually going to CodeGuide.dev. This site is going to develop and generate very useful documents, a product requirements document, tech stack document. You'll see, let's see, here they are, 8 or 9 documents, project rules. This is specifically for Cursor. So I'm going to create these docs. and I'm going to generate. So we're generating now a unified doc and these general docs. So there's a project requirement document, app flow document, tech stack document, front end, back end, app flow chart, security guideline document. Really pretty incredible. I am going to pause, and once the documents are ready, I'll see you back here. So here you see that I've created the PRD, the project requirements document. But actually what I forgot to do was press over here, press all docs. So I'm going to click all docs. Now it is generating all of the documents, which I assume includes this unified doc, which is actually new to their platform. So these should get generated. It takes literally less than a minute, and we'll see all the documents. Amazing. So here we are. We've got all of these documents generated. So here's the project requirements document. I mean, this thing is extensive. It's like 20 pages long. Again, just based on that initial simple prompt of what's the most high value business, AI-powered business idea for the high school education space. And within like 15, 20 minutes, this is where we are. And again, typically I'd be doing a lot more back and forth with Claude, and so it might take a little longer, and we'd have more human input on this, but pretty incredible. So I'm just looking through this PRD. Here's an app flow document. So onboarding and sign in, main dashboard, detailed feature flows. Here's a tech stack document. So all of this front end technologies, back end technologies, infrastructure and deployment. So all of this is going to be part of the prompt that we input into Lovable. Hence, again, the input is going to be so incredibly strong that the output should be much, much stronger in the first iteration of it. We're always going to have to iterate, with Lovable, Replit, any of these. It's just the starting point. It's like a first draft, but it gets pretty far down the line because of the inputs and the detail and the just the extensive nature of these inputs. Look at this app flowchart. Here's a preview of the app flowchart, and then this is actually this is previously called .cursor rules, now project rules. So this is very helpful for AI coding and cursor. Here's a Windsurf file. Windsurf is another great platform. And then this is actually new, the unified docs. So this is a unified document optimized for the selected AI coding tools that we've chosen. And so this is a unified project documentation. This is the first time I've actually seen this in their platform. I haven't used the platform in a week or two, so this must be fairly new. Core features, tech stack, and tools, and everything. So what we're going to do now, we're going to copy this prompt. So I clicked on copy prompt, and here I'm using Lovable this time. But as you can see, if I was using Cursor, if I was using Bolt or Replit or Windsurf, I would click on those. I'm going to click on Lovable. Prompt is copied. The link in the prompt will expire in 2 hours. If expired, simply click the copy prompt button again. So I got it. I've got that copied. I go to Lovable and I simply paste. And this is what we just pasted in there. So this is now our prompt. We've gone through that entire process. It has made the prompt super strong. I'm going to click on this arrow to get Lovable going. And now Lovable is creating a prototype. So this is, called vibe coding. I like to call it AI coding. I personally think the vibe coding terminology is a little corny, but it's the same thing. Vibe coding, AI coding. Essentially, it's sort of the human creating the vibe or the arena, the sort of general area of where we want to go, and then AI really takes it to a whole nother level. So AI here with Lovable is literally coding. And so we could click on here and we could see that it is creating, it says first I'll update the main app component to include proper routing and context providers. I actually don't know how to code, so I've seen this before, but I don't know how to do this myself. Some people do, and when folks know how to code at a higher level, Lovable still might be the right tool to get started for the front end, but Cursor is really a very powerful tool. And so again, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and this thing is still coding away. It typically takes about a few minutes to deliver the first iteration, the first draft, so to speak, of our prototype. The features, it is building of role-based dashboards with personalized content, visual content mapping for Algebra 2 progression. Here now it's creating a student dashboard. There are a few things I'll show you. For most of my projects, I do sync with GitHub, so I could easily connect my GitHub to sync this project 2 ways with GitHub, and that enables collaboration. So if I wanted to actually pick this project up at Cursor or at another tool, so that I could do probably more extensive back-end coding, I could very easily 2-way sync with GitHub, and then from Cursor, I just connect to GitHub and access the project that way. I also could use Supabase. Supabase allows for data storage, integrating user authentication, backend capabilities, and Lovable makes it very easy to connect a Supabase account. So let's see what's going on here. It looks like there was an error, which is not uncommon. So then I go try to fix, and so we're going to try to fix that error. It is saying here what's next: GitHub sync, connect Supabase, like I was mentioning. So looking at the error, can see that the app.tsx file is trying to import teacher dashboard and lesson page components that don't exist yet. So the AI is creating these missing files to resolve the build errors. So it figured that out on its own. Again, my understanding is that Cursor is maybe in Windsurf as well are better tools for identifying errors and bugs. But I think Lovable is getting a lot better at it as well. Replit is another tool. I'll go over there while we're waiting. Replit, great tool. I actually, first started AI coding on Replit. I've tried them all, and right now I'm kind of leaning towards Lovable, but they're all really powerful. Bolt.new is another tool, very, very powerful as well. And so we are waiting on, here you can see that we're doing more AI coding here, and pretty soon we should be able to see a preview of the Adapt Learn prototype. Now again, we are literally, here we go. We are literally 23 minutes into this video. I have paused it a couple of times to do the question answers with CodeGuide.dev. I've, and I certainly have not gone, as deep as I typically would on both Claude and with Gamma.app and some of the other tools, but pretty quick. So even if this was like a full hour, I mean, pretty amazing. We literally have a prototype here. And so I'm going to open this preview in a new tab. And so this is what it's built so far. Again, not perfect, but pretty good. Light mode, dark mode. It's got a little bit of a logo here, Adapt Learn, AI-powered learning. It's got a get started for student, for teacher, and all kinds of different things. What we can do here, so it looks like the demo it gave us demo credentials. So I'm going to do student@demo.com, and it looks like this might be password. I'm signing in. Okay, it looks like that didn't work. So, I might need to sign up actually. Creating an account. All right, so that was actually a little glitch that wasn't really working, the sign in. So I actually had Lovable create guest access. And so now we can view as a student or view as a teacher. So let's see. When we view as a student, what's my full name? Ben Arnon, yeah, sure, 10th grade. Next. All right, I'm going to choose an avatar. How do you best learn? Visual, auditory, hands-on. I'm gonna say visual. Wow, look at this. So this is what we just coded. And again, like this whole flow, the reason that there's so much already going on here, and that even that onboarding was pretty impressive, is because of how extensive that prompting situation was. And again, I talk a lot about interdisciplinary thinking with the multiplier, and so typically there'd be a lot more interdisciplinary thinking going on here. During that brainstorming and workshopping with Claude, the key to really taking the business concept to another level, and really identifying whether this is a business that can succeed in the market, would be the human-based interaction with the AI. But the AI, I will say, the AI alone, gets us pretty far. The problem with AI alone is that everyone can do this, right? Everyone can access these AI tools, and it becomes very commoditized, and very easy to just rely on the AI tools to to take us to a certain level. I think in order to really succeed, people are going to have to go above and beyond, and that requires this human synthesis of knowledge and tools. But let's take a look at what we've got here. Algebra 2 progress, upcoming, there's a calendar, achievements, continue learning. What happens when I click on this? So here, it does have mock data. Usually the first iteration of this is going to be mock data. So here's like not a real video, but here's lesson steps 1, 2. Pretty cool. How confident do you feel about this concept? I'm going to say very confident. And next step. So now we're on step 2. Okay. AI insights, personalized suggestions. So very cool. I can bookmark this. Again, I can go dark mode if I want. By the way, we could remove this edit with Lovable if we wanted to do that. I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and there's looks like that was some settings. I kind of want to get back. I want to see the teacher view. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So let's view as a teacher. And so here, Algebra 2, Period 3, welcome back, teacher, total students, average progress. Again, I don't actually know exactly, how we monetize this. I'm sure that was in the Claude brainstorm session, and also in our deck. Actually, that's going to be here in our deck somewhere. It's going to say, here's the problem, the solution. We probably have the market opportunity. We probably have a business model. Okay, so school district licensing and consumer subscriptions. Okay, so it looks like that's not really baked into the platform yet. So we would have to continue to utilize Lovable and say something like, like let's build out the monetization tools. But it's pretty in depth and pretty amazing for 30 minutes of, again, I did pause this video a little bit, so let's say an hour worth of work if we really did a lot of workshopping and brainstorming. And if this was a business that I really wanted to pursue, if I really was interested in figuring out something in the education space and really figuring out how to build a prototype. In the past, honestly, to do this entire process would have taken me weeks, probably would have cost thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars, utilizing services of product people and designers and developers, and probably getting timelines that felt like they were longer than they needed to be. and sort of trying to compromise with developers about, does it really need to take 4 weeks? Could it actually be accomplished in 3 weeks? In here, it's accomplished within a matter of minutes. Now, I'm not saying that this replaces developers. Developers obviously could take this to a whole nother level, and actually to make this production ready, to actually get this to the point where we were actually bringing a product to market with the right security features, with the right integrations, like with Stripe and other types of money collection features. I would recommend to anyone that you actually do have a highly trained software developer on your team that is double, triple checking any AI work before you bring it to market. But this was a pretty quick and down and dirty run through of a process that I have been developing over the past few months for rapidly prototyping business ideas. And the beauty of this is that it does not cost too much time or effort or money. By the way, I should mention all of these tools have free tiers, including the LLMs like Claude and ChatGPT. So all of these could be used for free. And then if you find yourself using any of the tools more extensively, then you upgrade to one of the paying tiers. But very, very easy. It's very democratized, very easy for anyone to use these tools. I mean, you saw it's really it's a chat prompt. So and the chat actually could be utilized through voice as well. So even someone who doesn't really type very quickly or is not it's just very, very accessible. And so here, I actually truly believe that it's very important for every human being to try to place him or herself or themselves within the top 1% of AI power users within the next 6 to 12 months. And so the way to do that is just to use the tools. And so that's one of the reasons I've been doing a lot of playing around with these tools. I'm not necessarily always, like this example, for instance, I'm not looking to build a tech platform for high school education, but it's a great way for me to play around with these tools, learn, iterate, make some mistakes, see how to correct them, and just get much more knowledgeable about using these tools. Again, what I've started to do is actually using the GitHub sync is take what I'm building in Lovable over to Cursor and then seeing if I could do some more advanced things on the back-end development front. And I've definitely been getting a lot stronger with that over the last couple of months. And so, this is, again, the new age of AI coding. It's extremely powerful, extremely accessible. I think with that interdisciplinary thinker mindset, I think that the sky is the limit, and that really is the key to sort of separating yourself from what everyone else is able to do with these tools. So there you have it, AI coding, rapid prototyping, a little 101. I'll try to come back in the next week or so with maybe a 201 version of this, take it to the next level. But if you have, please share this video and subscribe to my Substack, benarnon.substack.com, the multiplier, and keep supporting. And if you have any questions or comments about how to make this video even more practical or even more useful for you moving forward, please let me know. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.